Do you ever go through those spells in your business where you feel as though you are having lots of conversations with potential new customers, and these all feel like great customers? The conversations go really well, the relationship goes great, everything seems absolutely perfect, and yet somehow they all slip through the net and none of them turn into customers, and you just can't quite put your finger on why. So this is something I talk to clients about quite a lot, and it is something that I think is a big challenge for a lot of people growing a business. So I want to share with you today one really simple tip as to what may well be causing this issue. And the reason all comes down to trust. Now that sounds very straightforward, and trust sounds very simple, not necessarily easy, but simple to work on. But what often gets missed is that for a customer to be ready to buy from you, they need to be absolutely certain that there are 3 different types of trust in place. So I'm going to explain to you what those 3 types of trust are. The first one is probably the most obvious, and this is the one that we typically get right and the one that we usually spend most of our time focusing on. So this is, does the customer trust you? Now, some of this is just about the personal connection that you've got with them, but some of it's also about, are you professional? Do you deliver in the way that they would expect? Are you consistent? And that consistency can even be things like, if you've got a latest news section on your website, is that actually consistently updated? If you are a member of a networking group, do you consistently turn up? Because all of these things actually play into whether a customer can truly trust you. So does your online presence, your social media, your website, all of that kind of stuff, and your offline presence, does that match? Does that all make perfect sense to a customer when they meet you? So all of these things go into building trust. And you can look at great things like testimonials or case studies and that kind of thing to really start to build more trust with a customer. So that's the first layer of trust, and probably the easiest one to work on. The second layer of trust is, does the customer trust in your process? Now, this doesn't mean that they need the absolute nitty-gritty of, this is what we do at step 1, this is what we do at step 2, this is what we do at step 3, because if we're brutally honest about it, customers get bored to tears by that level of detail. But they do want to have clarity about exactly what it is you're going to deliver for them. And they would also like to know that this process, this service, this thing that you sell has worked for somebody in a similar industry to them. So the things to think about are, do you give customers enough of an understanding of exactly how you will work with them and exactly what you will deliver? Because sometimes it's really easy to know your service inside out, but then actually to skim over a little bit when you explain it to the customer because you know it so well. If you think about, have you ever built a connection with somebody on LinkedIn and then you've gone to look at their profile and thought, but I still don't quite know what they do? Or have you met somebody at a networking event and thought, I really like this person, I'd love to help them, but I'm not sure what exactly it is they do. I think maybe they can help some of my customers, but I can't be sure how. So we may well think that we're given a really good, solid representation of what we do and how we work, but sometimes we're missing the point a little bit there. So that's the second layer of trust to focus on. Can the customer trust in your process? And the third layer of trust, and this actually is probably the one that we miss most often, is can the customer trust in themselves? So the customer may think you are the best thing since sliced bread, and they may be utterly convinced that what you're offering is the perfect solution for them. But they may still feel like they haven't got the time, they haven't got the mental space, they haven't got the capacity. They're just not convinced that they can actually put the effort in that's going to be required to make this work. So the key thing for you here is to make sure you take enough time to really get to understand this customer and understand their individual challenges. And if those challenges are around time, then reassure them about exactly how much of their time is going to be needed for this thing to work for them. So look for that real clarity from the customer. So you've given them clarity about you, but you need to get that clarity from them about what concerns they've got, about anything that might get in the way, or any reasons why they may actually have a lack of trust in themselves and their own commitment to this process. It might even be that they've worked with somebody in a similar industry to you before and it hasn't worked brilliantly. So actually finding that out and understanding why that didn't work so well, so that you can then work with this customer to make sure that the things they didn't like last time are not involved in the relationship with you, then you potentially will nudge them over the line of this additional trust. So when you're having those great conversations with people that should turn into sales, but they're not, these are the 3 layers of trust to work on. Are you doing enough to make sure that a customer can absolutely trust you? Are you giving them enough clarity about how you work so they can feel confident they trust the process? And are you finding out enough about them to be sure that you can reassure them that they can also trust in themselves and their commitment to this process? So hopefully that's helpful, and that might even help you to make some more sales in your business. If you enjoyed this, then please leave a comment, send me an email, click on the like button, all that kind of stuff underneath. If you're on YouTube, click on the subscribe button. I would love to hear your comments and thoughts about this. Thank you.